see, none of these things I complain about, they don't exist in a vacuum, meaning having to put barbed wire around freeway signs so it won't get tagged is not that doesn't exist in a vacuum. That's literally a sign.
To something.
Yeah, but it's not like, well, that's the only problem we have. It's the freeway signs. It shows it's a bigger picture kind of thing. It's again like when you
it's a symptom.
Yeah, when you see lots of posters saying, hey, be a dad today or something like that. It's bad. It is societally, it's a fucking horrible sign. It may just be a poster in a subway, but it means something globally.
It's an indication.
It's a bad indicator. It's a fucking bad indicator. And again, I always just say, you're walking through the mall of life. You pass the Hickory Farms. The chick's out front with the toothpick and the cellophane. She's got it put in the summer sausage. You take a bite. You don't need to go inside and buy 10 linear feet of sausage to know whether you're going to like that. You just take the one toothpick, and you're good. The barefoot thing, people tweet me pictures all day long of people in movie theaters now with their feet. But they want to be barefoot in a movie theater, but they don't want to put their feet on the ground, so they kick it up onto the headrest of the seat in front of them.
Gross.
It's your bare feet. It's your bare... Remember when bare feet used to be gross and weird and like, ooh, stinky?
Yeah, they still are.
Imagine just working and kicking here's the barefoot in between the two seats of an airplane. There's the barefoot.
The feet coming at you from all angles and from all sides is the worst.
But it's not, this is not a thing where, you're
kicking back at home on your couch.
We didn't make the Surgeon General Dr. Scholl's. And now this has happened. It's just a bigger global problem of us becoming self-absorbed fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
Like everyone just puts their earbuds in, tunes out the world, and goes, fuck everyone. I'm putting my feet wherever the fuck I want, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, more feet. Go to amcarolla.com and see more feet. Feet and dogs. By the way, 8 years from now, it'll be nothing but feet and dogs. There won't even be heads or torsos on airplanes. Just be feet, bare feet, and dogs.
And yet, paradoxically, wouldn't you rather have a dog foot
I'd rather have a
coming
dog
near
paw.
you than a
I'd rather have a dog
barefoot?
paw. But
yeah.
I do long for the simpler times when people at least remain in their socks on an airplane. Or if they did, another one people tweeted me. This is barefoot on the table at the diner.
Where's your barefoot shame? If you have to take your shoes off, which first of all I have a problem with that, keep them down by the ground where no one can see them.
Well,
don't wave them around.
I'm going to show up with my kids in a half hour with my order of chili fries and lay them out on said table that was recipient of your stinky bare feet.
Yeah.
Yes, barefoot on the table. And this isn't a thing where it's like, hey, let's break into this restaurant at night so I can experience the sensation of my bare feet on a table. No, this is fucking high noon, prime time.
Yeah.
Everyone's working and everyone's walking around. I'm just going to have my fucking bare feet everywhere. All right, so we got that. Again, I just use little indicators to little yardsticks, little measuring sticks to tell what colossal douchebags we're all turning into. Brought this one up before, but it's a very interesting little test for me, and I find it again to be one of those things that you wouldn't hold any water in any scientific journal, but it'd be really hard to argue with. As I told you last week, I drove to Santa Monica. I sat in traffic from here to Santa Monica, and it was an hour's worth of plodding along at 4 miles an hour. And because of my hypervigilance and just because of my the way I drive and approach life, I just stare into the rearview mirror. I just drive. I literally look forward with one eye and I stare. And I'm used to just looking for cops and chicken shit tickets, but all I do is stare into the rearview mirror. So when the guy on the motorcycle comes up between us, Dr. Spaz has entered the studio. You can tell me what you think of this theory. The guy comes up to split the traffic in the motorcycle. And if you think about it, this guy hasn't changed too much. He's a 20-something-year-old dude who's on a motorcycle, usually 50-something-year-old dudes. I'm not talking about out on a Sunday Harley. I'm talking about weekday noon on the 110 or the 405 freeway. The guy comes up to split. I see him 20 cars back because I'm just tuned that way. And I'll do, and I've been experimenting with it now, a huge move where I move way over. Like just, it is very blunt and graphic how much you've seen me move to the left. Now I'll be in the left lane. I'll be in the fast lane. So there'll be the whole, 5-6 foot shoulder there. And I'll pull over 3-4 feet, just leave my huge berth and just to see what he does. And I was 0 for 10 from here to Santa Monica in terms of guys holding the hand out. Back in the day, Bruce,
always.
Every time you made that swing out move, I used to ride a motorcycle. If you made the swing out move, you got the hand down low. You got the left hand, not the throttle hand. You got the left hand down low. Thank you, motorists. Thank you for seeing me, being aware of me, and swinging out. There's nothing worse than being pinched when you're slicing through traffic. You make that deliberate move, you get the thank you. It used to be 8. I was 8 out of 10 in the thank you department. I just went 0 for 10. I'm probably 1 for like 28 on my last moves. Just cycle after cycle. You start to notice it. Start doing it, trying it. You don't get what's changed. If the cars change, has the motorcycle? Yes, they're better, but what's changed? Or the age of the guys riding it?
Crotch rocket versus gull wing. I think gull wings, you still get more of that. Thank you. No?
You don't get the splitter on the gull wing. They don't do the splitter.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I appreciate the attempt of shitting on the point. No, we're self-absorbed and we're narcissistic.
Right.
We don't give a fuck about anyone.
Do you think, and now I sound like my mom, do you think there's a relationship between this and the death of the thank you letter?
There's the death. There's a relationship between this, gum spit on the sidewalk, snot rockets on the top of the urinals, just fucking trash everywhere, just whatever, whenever, parking, splitting, using up 2 spaces, parking. I've seen guys park at almost a 45-degree angle. We're like in a horrible fucking
Not
angle.
even in great cars.
It is a game on. I watch. I had two uncomfortable I Love Lucy moments today at my house. First one, not so bad. I walked in the kitchen, I turned on the TV, and there was I Love Lucy. She was in her living room with Ricky. They were both smoking, which is funny. They're both smoking. Then another guy came in, and Ricky did the cigarette. No, don't mind if I do. So all 3 people in the scene were smoking. This was just sort of a Saturday, Ricky sitting around the house reading the newspaper. Tie. He's wearing a jacket and a tie. The guy came over, who was Fred Mertz's buddy, he was just in town, just needed to kill a little time. He's wearing a suit and tie. 2, he introduced himself. I even wrote his name down. He was a salesman, by the way. Eddie Grant was his name. And he's wearing a suit and tie, and he introduced him. Other thing was funny, too. I was like, God, this is such a time capsule. Everyone's wearing a tie, and they're saying their full name, and they're shaking everyone's hand, and they're sitting around.
Lighting cigarettes with lighters the size of paperweights that
yeah,
are
it's
no
like
longer around.
huge lighters. Yeah, the ones that never worked, but they were cool. And then they at some point, Lucy said if he had a lady friend who was in town, she could have a gay old time out shopping, which I thought was funny. But I just realized we have completely fucking gone off a fucking cliff as far as society goes. Bare feet everywhere. No one on motorcycles gives a fuck what anyone. The point is it's all no one else really exists but me. You can take it and isolate it to, well, we have a foot problem. We have a motorcycle problem. We have a gum spitting problem. We have a parking problem. No, we don't. We have a narcissistic problem. And that is not going to work because we depend. See, I believe when we do too much of the farming out, like, hey, we should sign there should be legislation that makes it illegal to spit gum out, and there should be then you're handing it off to a bureaucrat, then they're going to fuck it up. Then, by the way, then it's just game on. It's like the IRS. Like, look, they're trying to get money from you, you're trying to save money, it's game on. We need to bring back a certain no-duh decency and dignity, which is bad. Don't spit the gum out, not because it's illegal, but because you're a human being and you share this planet with other human beings.
Yeah. There's more to manners than just it's someone dictating that it's what you have to do. It's just part of being a polite, decent human being.
Yes, but I do think the more we do the let the government handle it, the less people tend to want to handle it themselves. They don't take that responsibility anymore.
Well, it's that like, well, no one's telling me I can't.
Well, so consequences, would that work?
Consequences work just great.
I like your idea about checking the DNA of the gum.
That's
There
what
you
I
go.
want. Database, DNA, hey, cigarette butts, gum, tampons, whatever flips your cookie. You know?
What about it? You know,
Yeah.
Can I give you my personal pet peeve is grading the doctor. Let's give the doctor a grade and determine whether or not he's fit to practice.
See,
There's a good article in Forbes in January about grading your doctor may be hazardous to your health.
Ooh.
One ER in South Carolina was giving out gift bags with Vicodin. I swear to God, that's what the
To
article
get
said.
a good grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they
I
had
mean,
poor grades.
Well,
But-
look, I mean, it's the same thing of when, you're getting your funding based on attendance, then you just bring your kids in, warehouse them, and push them out, or on your test scores, then next thing you know, you have teachers giving them the answers to the tests. And it's like, you're not trying to win on a technicality here. Do you know what I'm saying? It's when it comes, it's like the Shabbos Goyim. Like, hey, I'm Orthodox Jew, and I'm not allowed to use a toaster oven on a Saturday, but I do like toast. So I'm going to hire a guy with red hair to flip on the toaster. Like, is that what they had in mind? Is that what they had in mind? I mean, we do it all the time. It's like I said, everything becomes the IRS. Just, all right, okay, this is what you want. This is what we want. We could do, okay, let's see if we can beat the system.
I have kind of a wonky point about why our society is going to hell. And let's see if it works and if you agree with it at all. I think there was a time that advertising started co-opting this idea of be rebellious, be your own person, do your own thing.
Yes.
And that became the mainstream message.
Yes.
And so now that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
They're just doing it.
Yeah, well,
They're obeying their thirst.
No, they'll obey your thirst. Oh, all that sort of
Like anti-man kind of thing, anti-establishment.
all that Nike bullshit where it's like your world, everyone's just living in it. There's only one you. I mean, yeah, they started doing. We went from this thing in the 40s where it's like we all need to band together to whoop the Nazis, and then we went from that to you do your own thing. There's only one of you. I watch that fucking Wah Wah Wubsy, that fucking poison that those retarded animators and creators shit out. And believe me, you guys are world-class hacks. Insane hacks. Insane. Please, stab yourself in the eye with a fucking mechanical pencil, would you, creators of Wah Wah Wubsy? And please don't ever think that anyone mistakes what you do with art. Don't ever think for a second that anyone thinks that what you do is art. It's junk. It's shit. It's good until you see your 4th birthday, and then you never see it again. That's what kind of artist you are. You're not artists. You cannot create. But that, you are the coolest stuff. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you look. You don't even have to try. You are the coolest. That's literally the song that they're singing. So everyone's just saying me, me, me. It's nothing. There's no team anything. It's just me, me, I, me, me, me. Fucking, we're fucking our society royally. We have no idea, and everyone just thinks, well, then we got to hire more cops and more counselors and more teachers and more. No, there's not going to be enough. There's never going to be enough.